Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another after hours session with your boys for the Next Level Official Podcast. You got Noob Face and myself, Speedy, on the mics. Palo is MIA for today.
Yeah, I think he dropped in the toilet, man. I think something happened.
Just dropping the kids off at the toilet and got stuck, right?
I think so.
At the
I
pool.
think so. I think he fell through. Yeah, I think he fell through.
He fell through. I like it. I like where you went with that.
Fell through.
Plans fell through.
So we got a really interesting topic that we want to discuss. I think this is something that we all thoroughly enjoyed in our childhood. And Speedy, what do we got? What do we got?
Most excellent.
Most excellent, sir.
Most excellent. Most excellent,
man.
And we're going to talk about Bill and Ted's 3.
Face the Music.
They Face the Music. Near and dear, one of my favorite movies as a kid when it dropped in 1989, showing some age here. 1992.
Okay.
1992,
right.
They came out with the second one, kind of fell flat for me, but this one right here is legit. It's been in development for quite a while. I saw it this week, and I know you did yourself. Did you enjoy it? What did you love about it?
So before we get into details, we're going to go into this. Just want to let everybody know that there's some heavy spoiler alerts. So if you have not watched the movie, watch at your own discretion. We're definitely going to be going, I don't know how deep we're going to get into the third one, but we're definitely going to talk about it, some topics and things. So just be aware, and you've been warned.
Even if there's spoilers, watch it. It's so good.
Even if there's spoilers, I mean, it's worth it. And especially, I think for our generation who kind of grew up in that era enjoying Bill and Ted, and just the whole era, it was really cool to see this movie finally, I would say, come to completion, right? Because they're older, they're dads, which is such a cool, such a cool view, I mean, it's just, I think it was perfectly, scripted, well done, for that. For that whole concept.
It brought them full circle around, right? Like they were the crazy kids. Parents trying to rail them in. Now they're there. Now as the parents that got their kids that are kind of all over the place too.
Yeah, and now we get to see their kids, and it's so funny because the kids are like the spitting images of them. I mean, just the mannerisms. They did
such a great job, especially like reinventing Keanu Reeves' character. Oh my God! Like, I mean, first of all, like, how awesome is it that Keanu Reeves came back to this role? Like, this is like one of his first big roles that I can ever remember him being a part of. Think like, an actor that's risen so high, especially with a lot of the action movies that he's done.
Right.
Maybe he wouldn't want to do something like, this is way below me. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's beneath me. You know who the fuck I am? I'm John Wick.
I'm John Wick. Do you know me? I haven't looked back since Speed, man.
Yeah, I'm Johnny fucking Utah. Okay. Don't fucking come to me with that shit.
Don't come. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
Man, I love the fact that he came back and then that he played true to his character. Like, it looked like Ted from that age, from 1989. Like, this is the way he would look. Almost that kind of like the mannerisms. Like, I was telling the people that I was watching with, like, I love the fact that like he moved like he didn't have a neck. Like, it's just all shoulders and it just attached, and even his daughter does. He's like, whoa, Excellent. It's so funny seeing him do it. Like,
and I honestly love the dialogue, and for people who I think are a little bit judgmental or critical, when it comes to the movie, you really have to take it at its entertainment value, and Bill and Ted wasn't this massive big production movie, that honestly I felt wasn't meant to go anywhere, but it just created this this era, this fun, and and for them just to bring it back, and for him to play that part, and the dialogue that they use is still the same, and they use it so well. Like, I mean, it's just so stupid. Like, especially the scene where they're doing the counseling was one of my favorites, because he's like, I want you to look at her and tell her that I love her, and he goes, I and Bill and love you, with all our hearts, and it's like fucking hilarious, dude.
It
it's
is
what they would
true
do.
to form, dude. It was
Yes,
true, man. Like they didn't try to reboot it, and this is kind of what Alex Winter said. Like when they took this movie, this idea to come out, and like, hey, we want to make a Bill and Ted's 3. They're like, hey guys, great idea. Why don't we do the reboot? Like bring it into this century. And I love the fact that they didn't. Like it is the same essence of like not a knock against millennials, like maybe just didn't really understand the very first ones, those that didn't like it. Like this movie was so like gave me the same exact feeling I felt like watching it, laughing like the first one did. Obviously updated, they didn't go crazy with like the special effects, well though they had it. It is the same essence of it, like the same characters, like hey, they're doing the same thing but it's told in a different way, like they see themselves in different forms. Like I mean, how hilarious was the scene in the prison, like when you have Bill and
Oh
Ted,
my dude,
they're all
dude,
so
and
jacked.
it was so funny because it was actually like hey man, whatever prosthetics was used, it just goes to show the quality of how well it looked because they look like fucking big motherfuckers. Like it
They
didn't look
look
shitty.
jacked, like they
They look
had been in
scary.
prison for a
Yes.
while
Yeah.
working out, man.
So it was really fucking well done. And I think that was one of the coolest things is just to see those whole split dimension versions of themselves that are trying to get the song was just over the top hilarious. And it was, I think it's a kind of laughter and just fun that this generation and this time is needing.
Oh man,
I think it was
I
very well.
needed that laugh. Like I've watched it twice since it came out, and I had purchased the first one a while back, tried to get the kiddo and the family to watch it, and he was just like totally disinterested, and he's like, "Oh, this, all right, I'm going to my room. I'll see you guys later." And I watched the first one again just to see how well it pairs with it, and it like they kept everything this like in essence of the same. Like you felt like the same characters, like when they talked about the girls, even in
Right.
number 2 they always said we. Like it was just like this funny mannerism that they had kept going on, like they were the couple and they were
Right.
always the couple. And man, I can't talk to like how funny it was. The writing was really well scripted. I think they didn't push like the whole agenda, like the daughters coming in and how they were
Right.
like,
Right.
they did that most excellent way. But what I also liked is that they set the stage between the second one and the third one right at the very beginning of the movie.
Right.
Because at the end of the second, like I hadn't realized it until I watched it again, that when they brought out the kids, they said, hey, look, this is Billy and this is Ted, but they never really expressed like the sex of the baby, so you kind of assumed it was a boy. They had boys, and right when they come out in this next one, they're like, hey, the last time you probably saw us, our dads were calling us Billy and like they did such a great job, like getting across those gaps and moving in, that you just didn't feel like, oh man, like, oh good lord, like they totally screwed
I,
this scene up.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure you're gonna have those people who completely dissect the movie and are like, "Oh, there's loopholes and whatnot." But in all honesty, for a movie that has had such a time gap and genre gap,
dude,
they
it's been
really,
30
really did a great.
years.
Yeah, they really did an amazing job at filling in the holes. But hopefully, this will give, I think the younger audience a good chance to kind of get into that because a lot of younger generations, we kind of have this time loop where what we call retro is what we were into back in the day, and it tends to make its way back. So hopefully with Bill and Ted Face the Music, that this will give, other people an opportunity to check out the first two. The second one, I don't think was really that amazing.
Oh man, like
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it
I
because that's
watched
where
it.
that's
It was really hard. It was hard to watch. I think they suffered from what always happens with a second movie, where in the fact is that they go big, like they try to go big and they go overboard, like the costumes were too crazy,
right. Well, they did, but
everything.
that's what brought the Reaper in.
True.
The Grim Reaper. And I think for that reason alone is one of the reasons to definitely check out the second movie. And I believe, is that one, The Bogus Journey?
Yeah, the bogus. Mhm.
Bogus Journey, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so that one's a really good one to watch. So alongside talking about this, there's also some trivia that I think is really interesting. I always love talking about some trivia for all those people who've already seen it, and just want a little bit more bonus content. So check this out. So during filming in a neighborhood in Louisiana, the cast and crew were often greeted by local residents. So one day, Keanu Reeves noticed a sign on a lawn that read, "You're breathtaking." He stopped, got out of the car, went to sign and autograph it. After finding out whom the sign belonged to, he went to the family and posed for a photo with him.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And I mean, if you can't love fucking Keanu any more than you already fucking do,
Dude,
I
who
mean, this
doesn't
guy,
love this guy, man?
I mean,
He's
this
like
guy
the
is like
coolest, down to earth dude that there is.
gentleman you could ever fucking come across, and so whoever's currently in this guy's circle of friends, fucking count your lucky stars, man, because fuck.
Keanu, I want you to
Keanu,
be my friend.
I would love to be your friend.
I want to be your friend.
We would love to have you on this shit show and just fucking talk, man.
I will get rid of Noob if that's what you want. Cut him out. You can throw me off the show. Just show up.
We will all have a crop photo of your face on all of our faces.
Oh my
Whatever
god,
you
that'd be
want.
so awesome. I
check
think
this out.
he's so interesting and funny to just talk, like, just mindset wise, like the level headedness of him for as many huge roles as he's done in, like, like you don't see, like Tom Cruise, like crazy, like he does like couple Men in Black, not Men in Black, Mission Impossibles, and he thinks he's like the Krav Maga, like he's jumping off buildings, like no one's gonna do stunts but me. Let me fly that F-18. Let me break every rule to do. And like he's totally like, I bet you he's easy to work with. Like every director loves him. I've seen his badass videos of him training for like John Wick, like shooting. Like, dude, that stuff is legit, man. Like
I'm sorry.
Into his role.
Yeah, man. I mean, it gets to the point where if I had to pick between Tom Cruise and Keanu, I mean, I'm putting all my money in a bag of chips on Keanu.
There's not even a question,
down, bro. Hands down.
Like, bye, Tom.
So check this out. So this was another cool little trivia fact: is that Samara Weaving, right, who plays Thea in the movie, she won the role after Keanu Reeves found out that she was the niece of Hugo Weaving, which is Agent Smith in the Matrix, from the Matrix. So so it was really fucking awesome. Another thing that I thought was really fucking awesome, and I think this is pretty dear to a lot of people who truly enjoy the series, and the late comedian George Carlin. In the film, Kelly is Rufus's daughter. The late George Carlin played Rufus in the first two Bill and Ted films, and his real life daughter's name is Kelly. The Kelly role is named as a way to recognize and honor Carlin. Which
I thought that was such a cool little like Easter egg just being dropped into that. Like just the fact that they would go back to him, because he was a huge part of the first
definitely
movie.
A huge part. And I love the way they showed him in this movie. Like it was this really cool retro, remember this Bill and Ted, when they first did it, and here he comes out. It was so fucking awesome.
I thought it was classy, like in the fact that like, hey, they recognized he's not there, so they didn't try to hide it. It wasn't like, oh, he's off on another starship, helping another planet with Green Lantern or something. He was there. Like, we know he's gone. Like, they made mention to it. They kind of kept it, like how he was almost like, I always think of him almost like Morpheus. Like, he's the guy that found the one, like, right? That's
right.
Kind of the same mentality with this. And so I just thought like the script was just done really well. Like, it took a while. Like they've been talking about this since 2010, and it took, several rounds of writing just to get through to what they had gone. I think they had talked in a Comic-Con in early like 2013, 2014, around that same time, that it was just there. So like, to me, I'm still impressed that like Keanu even signed on for it, because you never see really actors like this come into these types of roles, like even low budget kind of deals, where unless they're like on the down portion of their career. And I think he and truly loved this movie, the very first one, and just the series, and how like I don't think there would be anyone else that could play him like as Ted, and
Yeah.
or as Bill and Ted. Like they had to both be there for this to even work.
That's true. So another cool deal is so Alex Winter, right, who's the guy who
Hmm.
plays Bill. Apparently he has a gig in filmmaking, right? So I don't know what films he's done, but he has a career in filmmaking. So in order to prepare for the role for Bill, he took acting lessons again.
Wow.
Because he had been out of the game for so long that he was like, fuck, you know what, I got to brush up on my Bill and Ted. But it's so cool just because it shows, despite the fact that these guys are playing like some, geeked out, they don't really have the greatest of common sense type characters, but he still took it serious enough to be like, fuck, man, regardless of the role, I still want to give this a good performance because of the fact that that movie is pinnacle. I mean, it's a really cult classic, when you think about it. So I thought that was really awesome. That was really freaking dope.
One of my kind of favorite things about the movie too is that how they keep getting musicians to play inside of their movies. Like each
Hmm.
one of these, like get a part of it. Like within this one, they had Kid Cudi, and then they have that funny, super funny scene with Dave
Oh,
Grohl, like showing up at
oh
the
yeah.
house.
He's like, this
Like
is my house, and he's like, what?
why is Dave Grohl at your house? Like, this is my house. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
thought that
thought.
was the funniest, unexpected thing. And so it cracked me up hilarious
I
wise that they had that in there.
I thought that was really I thought that was really freaking awesome when I saw that. Honestly, my one thing that I loved about it is at that same scene where they talked about the fact that they knew that the guys that were chasing them knew what the young ones were going to do because they had already been there. So they thought putting the buckets over their heads would would somehow help that. And I don't know why, but if you watch the scene where Ted falls over the ledge, it is so fucking hilarious. I almost spit my drink out because I thought it was just fucking hysterical, man. He just flops over, but
They,
it's such a
they were
damn
all
good movie.
like, I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed the whole scenes with like the wives, like the fact that they never told them I love you. Versus it was always like we love you, and that's how they talk in almost every single movie. Like I love that they kind of layered in all these little thin stories into it to create this bigger one. And the biggest thing is that how great of a callback it was to the first one. Like the daughters creating the band, just like how they went around and created the story. Funny
Hmm.
thing, like one of the trivia items for the first movie was that the actual textbooks that they're using in there, those were used by California during that time frame. Like that's legit, like the California textbooks that were used during that time at San Dimas High School.
San
Uh,
Dimas, man. Oh my
and
god.
so, and then
San
I'll throw this
Dimas.
at you. Little trivia here in the script wise for Bill and Ted's first adventure, the most excellent adventure. What do they say more? Do they say dude more or do they say excellent more in
Dude,
the movie?
dude,
Dude,
dude.
dude,
Excellent.
dude, dude. They say dude 70 times in the first movie and they say excellent 30 times throughout that movie.
So here's another little tidbit of trivia, little juice nugget of the trivia. In Death's apartment in hell, on the shelf is the game Battleship, right? Bill
Mm-hmm.
and Ted played a number of games to get Death to help them, and won. And one of them
Mm-hmm.
were Battleship in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So that was one of the games that they played to get him to help. So I thought that
I,
was fucking
I do
dope.
remember that because they were trying to get to heaven at that time frame, and they kept.
Yeah.
He's like best 2 out of 3, and so that's why it was funny when they said he even cheated when he was doing his hopscotch. Like he
Yeah. Yeah.
cheated against himself. Like look
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that. But I enjoy how like the daughters were like really engaged, like engaging him, and how like he had been part of the band and how the band had broken up, and like that's those whole script portions like cracked me up considerably. Like the fact that he was like, "Your bass solos were too long; they were 40 minutes long." He's like, "Oh, we had to do something to keep the crowd there." Like that's like the funniest crap you could be saying all the time within that movie. There,
So apparently the mom or the mom and dad are the same original characters. And I
Yeah,
thought it was
dude.
so funny how the mom went
She
from the dad to
Dude,
the
and
son.
that's another thing.
So,
That's another thing. So like the
so
one
fucking
thing, if you didn't
hilarious.
catch, like in the first one, she married Bill's dad, right? Then in the second one, she married Ted's dad. In
Yeah,
the second movie, like I did not remember that. Obviously, like
yeah,
as a
yeah,
12-year-old, I wasn't catching that much.
yeah.
He married, and they made a comment in that movie that wouldn't it be funny if she married you, Ted? Like the next one, and then what happens? She marries the little brother, which was the funniest shit. Like when he's like, and Bill is now his own so and so, and my dad
Yeah.
is now his own son. It's
They
just
all look disgusted, and she's like,
it's
"Oh,
just
come
like
here,"
it's just
and
like the
oh, and
creepiest family thing ever. Like
and
she's been
and
marrying all of them.
and what does he call her? The son calls her something. She's like, "Stop it!" She's like, "Your dad used to call me." He's like, "I know." It's so fucking
Oh man,
hilarious, man.
like
The,
oh man, that's
that
just
was that was really freaking hilarious, man. So one other thing is that I was reading on here. So you're right. So it did. It took over a dozen years for this movie to materialize, despite having had a script ready. Since at least the late 2000s, there were also certain technical problems in its development, as there were problems in searching for a distributor and certain script revisions. So the film was eventually approved in 2018, and filming began on July 1st, 2019, in which um Alex Winter confirmed on his Twitter account on the second.
which is really cool. Like the fact that they filmed it so fast and then it actually got out amongst all the things that have been going around in the world and like even their
Yeah.
filming schedule. So like honestly, like this has probably been the best movie I've seen during this pandemic wise time frame. Like I'm glad they came out. I hope they make
Agreed.
a ton of movie. I will be buying this one later on and digitally when I have the chance because I
I
just
want to
love
have
the
a
fact
collection.
yeah, I just love this film was just so funny. They did a great job with everything about it. Like even the phone booth versus the new one. Oh man, the robot. Oh my god, the robot was
The robot
hilarious.
was, yeah,
He's one of my
yeah.
funny. Like we've been watching Barry. We're a little bit behind. I don't know if you've seen that show on each
No,
from
no.
HBO.
I started watching it and it was a little weird.
It's weird. It gets funnier, but like the one of the mobsters that I'm like always cracking up about, like he's the way he's always like over expressive. That's the guy that plays the robot killer in the what he kept saying is what did he keep saying his name was? Oh, it was like my
Carlton
name.
or something,
No, no, no,
or
no.
Dennis,
He's
Dennis,
Dennis. That's what
Dennis.
he's like.
But
My
then,
name is
but then,
Dennis.
but then,
Oh, when he
but then
killed
it
the
was funny.
family.
But then it was funny. Oh yeah, because then it was funny. He was like, but then it was funny because something happens. I forgot in what scene. But then one of the girls goes, you named him after my ex."
Yeah, you get those ladies like, how dare you?
Yeah,
Like, I can dance. He's
yeah,
like, well, go practice your dancing over there.
yeah. Go back to
Tambourine. Like, I just love that character. Like, he went from like being the killer to I love when Bill and Ted beat him up in the prison scene.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, was that a song? He's like, yeah, it was a song. It's like it really sounded like a beat. He's like, it was a song. And then when they kicking his ass, he's like, it wasn't a song. And they're just beating him up. So
It was awesome.
So I'm glad we had a chance to watch it. I hope more and more people go out there and watch it. What else you got?
You know what? I think that's going to conclude. I think we talked a little bit about it and gave some people some good reasons to go ahead and check it out. And if you guys aren't doing anything, if you're just wondering, what can I watch? You know what? If you have to fork over some money, to check out Bill and Ted Face the Music, it's definitely going to be a good investment. It's fun. Give you an option to go ahead and watch the first two before you check out the third one. But
well, at least the first
heck,
for
man,
sure.
Yes, and I mean, come on, it's Keanu Reeves, man. I mean, it's in his early, heyday where he was, I mean, it's
This is
it's
before
great
Point
nostalgia.
Break. This is before
Yeah.
Speed. All his cool roles, The Matrix.
I mean,
Everything Wick associated.
yeah,
I love the fact that he came back and he played this role and he played it so well.
yeah,
And like
definitely.
their interactions between him and Alex Winter, like it's like they never They never broke up. It was like the same team had been doing the same stuff like constantly. So
Yeah, you could tell the chemistry between them was really well done because you're exactly right. It just felt it felt like everything flowed, like they had really just taken a 30-year hiatus and it was just next day as if nothing happened. So really well done. Excellent.
most excellent.
Most excellent. So give it a watch. And for all you people watching, don't forget to click that subscribe button. It's right down below. Okay. If you definitely like the content, please feel free to give us some comments. Let us know what you think, what you guys are interested in hearing about. If there's something in particular you want to hear us talk about, feel free. Put it down there. We also have our Instagram that you can find us at Next Level Official Podcast. So, follow us over there. And I hope everybody has a good day, night, whatever. If you're in transition, sunset, evening, sunrise, whatever.
Third shift.
Third
Keep it up.
shift. Yeah, keep rocking.
Keep trucking. Keep rocking. Keep America great.
All right, guys.
All right. We'll catch you later.
Come on, guys, hit it. Jesus.